nirvishesha shrunivadi paskatyate sadharana. Om Agana Timirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Sakans Vitam Scha Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Dhruvyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 13, Brahma stealing the boys and the calves. Text 16. Tato vatsan adrishtvaitya Pulane pipcha vatsapan Ubhavapi vane Krishna Vichikaya samantata Tato vatsan adrishvaitya Pulane pipcha vatsapan Ubhavapi vane Krishna Vichikaya samantata Ladies. Tata, thereafter, Vatsan, the calves, Adrishva, not seeing there within the forest, Etya, thereafter, Pulaneyapi, to the bank of the Jamuna, Cha, also, Vatsapan, could not see the cowherd boys, Ubao Api, both of them, the calves and the cowherd boys, Vane, within the forest, Krishna, Lord Krishna, Vichikaya, searched all over, Samantatata, there and there, here and there. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, when Krishna was unable to find the calves, he returned to the bank of the river. But there he was also unable to see the cowherd boys. Thus he began to search for both the calves and the boys, as if he could not understand what had happened. Purport. Krishna could immediately understand that Brahma had taken away both the calves and the boys. But as an innocent child, he searched here and there so that Brahma could not understand Krishna's Maya. This was all a dramatic performance. A player knows everything, but still he plays on the stage in such a way that others do not understand him. Text 17. When Krishna was unable to find the calves and the caretakers, the cowherd boys, anywhere in the forest, he could immediately understand, he could suddenly understand that it was the work of Lord Brahma. Purport. Although Krishna is Vishvavid, the knower of everything happening in the entire cosmic manifestation, as an innocent child he showed ignorance of Brahma's actions, although he could immediately understand that these were the doings of Brahma. This pastime is called Brahma Vimohana Leela, the bewilderment of Brahma. Brahma was already bewildered by Krishna's activities as an innocent child, and now he would be further bewildered. Text 18. Just thereafter, just to create pleasure for Brahma and for the mothers of the calves and cowherd boys, Krishna, the creator of the entire cosmic manifestation, expanded himself as calves and boys. Purport. Although Brahma was already entangled in bewilderment, he wanted to show his power to the cowherd boys. But after he took away the boys and their calves, returned to his abode, Krishna created further astonishment for Brahma and for the mothers of the boys by establishing the lunch pastimes in the forest again and replacing all the calves and boys just as they had appeared before. According to the Vedas, Ekam Bahusyam. The personality of Godhead can become many, many millions upon millions of calves and cowherd boys, as he did to bewilder Brahma more and more. Text 19. By his Vasudev feature, Krishna simultaneously expanded himself into the exact number of missing cowherd boys and calves, with their exact bodily features, their particular types of hands, legs, and other limbs, their sticks, bugles, and flutes, their lunch bags, their particular type of dress and ornaments placed in various ways, their names, ages, and forms, and their special activities and characteristics. By expanding himself in this way, beautiful Krishna proved the statement, Samagra Jagad Vishnu Mayam. Lord Vishnu is all-pervading. Prabhupada stated in the Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achutam Anadin Anantarupam Adyam Puranam Purusham Navayovanam Cha. Krishna, Param Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Adyam, the beginning of everything. He is Adi Purusham, the all-useful original person. He can expand himself in more forms than one can imagine, yet he does not fall down from his original form as Krishna. Therefore, he is called Achyuta. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvam Vishnu Mayam Jagat. Sarvam Kal Vidam Brahma. Krishna thus proved that he is everything, that he can become everything. But still, he is personally different from everything. Matstani Sarvabhutani Nachaham Teshu Vashitaha. This is Krishna, who is understood by Chintya Veda Veda Tattva philosophy. Purnasya Purnam Araya Purnam Eva Vishishate. Krishna is always complete, and although he can create millions of universes, all of them full in all opulences, he remains as opulent as ever, without any change, Advaitam. This is explained by different Vaishnavacharyas through philosophies such as Vishuddha Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, and Dvaita Dvaita. Therefore, one must learn about Krishna from the Acharyas. Charyavan Purusham Veda. One who follows the path of the Acharyas knows things as they are. Such a person can know Krishna as he is, at least to some extent. And as soon as one understands Krishna, Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yoveti Tattvadaha, one is liberated from material bondage. Tyaktva Deham Panar Janma Naiti Mam Eti Sorjana. Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Vristaya Bhutay Srimati Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Tiramane Namaste Saraswatunde Ve Gauravani Vicharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskadyade Siddharane. There is a consistency in Krishna's pastimes, but one has to understand them from the point of view of the Acharyas. Obviously, when Shukadeva Goswami was speaking to Pariksha Maharaj, he couldn't give his own commentary on Krishna's pastimes. But he related the pastimes as was appropriate for that particular occasion. But undoubtedly, Pariksha Maharaj understood that Krishna is omniscient and he was not bewildered by Brahma taking away the cowherd boys and the calves. But still, Shukadeva Goswami is relating pastimes. He wasn't relating philosophy at this particular point. And it was understood that Pariksha Maharaj and all the other sages there were sufficiently educated that they didn't become bewildered and think that Krishna was an ordinary personality. On the other hand, if someone just reads the srimad-bhagavatam without the assistance of the acharyas, then one may mistake Krishna for an ordinary personality. And these pastimes is somehow or another ordinary. That Krishna suddenly had forgotten or had become less than omniscient, and therefore he didn't understand what was going on. And then suddenly he realized that Brahma took away all the cowherd boys and the calves. But actually, as explained here, this is just some play. Matter of fact, the whole Leela of Krishna is just a play. Specifically, his activities in the world are to appropriate for the conditioned souls to help them progress towards spiritual realization. Therefore, he puts his friend Arjuna into Maya, into Yoga Maya actually, or Mahamaya, it makes no difference. He puts them into illusion so that he can speak the Bhagavad Gita. He has Pariksha Maharaj put a snake around Samaka Rishi's neck so that he can be cursed by Samika. What's his name? Srini. With Srini, that's his whole name, Srini. So he can be cursed by Samika Rishi's son, Srini. And therefore the Bhagavatam can be spoken. But that's not all Krishna does. Now, everything that's going on is all by Krishna's arrangement with inconceivable layers of Krishna's expertise, all meant to help the conditioned souls come back to the spiritual kingdom if they have any desire to do so, or to let them remain and experience the so-called happiness and the miseries of material existence. Everything that goes on is an inconceivable pastime of Krishna, either in the internal energy, which is beyond our reach of understanding what those pastimes are until we become liberated, and in the external energy, which is what we're experiencing now, Krishna's pastime. They may think, from the materialistic point of view, that there's some history. If you go downtown to the Parliament building, they have murals of the history of Slovenia, what they think is Slovenia, which is should be discouraging, but they made it into murals, how Slovenia, the peasants, they revolted, they won temporarily, and then their masters came back from somewhere and defeated them all, and they were back in bondage again. And then some 100 years later, they revolted again, and they won, and they got back into bondage. And here we are now, so free. The real history is that everyone, whether they were so-called the masters of the world, or whether the peasants being dominated, they were all under the external energy of Krishna, suffering from old age, disease, and death, and having taken birth again. So that's the real pastime. But because Nate vidu swartikatim hi Vishnu darashaye bahir artamanina, because people don't see the real pastime, because they're in ignorance, covered by the illusory energy, they take something else as the pastime. They don't understand the pastime. They don't understand karma. They don't understand the laws of reincarnation. They don't understand anything. Therefore, Krishna calls them mudhas. Ukramantam stitim vapi bunjana vagunanvita vimudo nanapashanti pashanti jnana chakshusha. The foolish, they cannot understand how the living entity quits his body, or what kind of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature, but those whose eyes are trained with knowledge can see all this clearly. Yatanto yoginas chainam pashant yatma yavasita yatanto yakritatmano naiva pashanti chetasa. The endeavoring transcendentalists, situated in self-realization, can see all this clearly, but those who are not trained, although they may try, cannot see what's actually going on. So they're spending millions and billions and literally trillions of dollars trying to discover what? How to control the material nature, for what aim? To kill everyone. That's called the mode of ignorance. Maybe there's someone that's trying to discover how to live longer for himself, or maybe his family. There are people but they don't understand that no one lives here forever. And that even when we have the life of Brahma, it's so insignificant, Brahma's life. It's just a flash in cosmic sky. What to speak of our pitiable lifetime here, duration of life. So even the demigods are just amazed to see how these people on the earth, they take it so seriously, their life, but it's so insignificant, their life. It's like, if you had the opportunity, would you go and interview the ants who are crawling underneath this building and ask them how it's going? How they're making progress. They tell you how they've expanded their city underground. It's a kingdom. But who would take it seriously? What is the value of the ants' kingdom underneath this? They think they're controlling Slovenia. They have their news agency telling them the history of the ant colony, the history of their kings and queens in the ant colony. They have the whole thing. But who's going to, even if they wrote a book, who's going to read it? what's the value of it? What to speak of? Now we take so seriously our so-called history written by ignorant people who don't understand who they are. They don't understand the purpose of creation. They don't understand anything of any value. They know how to manipulate the material energy for something insignificant, generally in the mode of ignorance for something destructive, in the mode of passion for something foolish, something temporary, and in the mode of goodness, at least they're not destructive and they're not foolish. They're just wasting their time. Unless they come to a higher level of consciousness progressively, they'll fall down into ignorance and passion, especially in Kali Yuga. On the other hand, the srimad-bhagavatam is trying to give us some idea how amazing Krishna is. So, such an amazing person who could create unlimited cowherd boys and calves exactly as the cowherd boys and the calves that were stolen by Brahma. Wouldn't one want to take shelter of such a person rather than fight against him? Imagine we're going to have a wrestling match in the temple here this afternoon, and everyone's invited. And we have a 300-kilo sumo wrestler coming. And we have anyone want to challenge him? And Nitya Seva Devi Dasi raises her hand. She says, I can do it. So the sumo wrestler squeezes through the door, looks at Nitya Seva Devi Dasi and runs out the door out of fear. No, it wouldn't happen like that. No, what kind of match is that? So what kind of match is us against the material energy? No one has ever been able to even make any progress since time immemorial against Krishna's material energy. And what to speak, they're challenging Krishna. Krishna doesn't exist. Krishna is just an ordinary person. Krishna is unlimited. He's lusty. He married so many women. They're challenging Krishna. They can't even defeat even one atom of his material energy. And yet they're defying Krishna. So, Srimad-Bhagavatam is to help us understand better to join Krishna's team than the other team. 30,000 Soma warriors and Nityasita Devidasi appears. I'm taking you all on. Prabhupada gives the example of the horse, this big horses, and they're trying to cross this flowing, strong river. So the first huge horse enters into the river and gets swept away. And then all the other horses, huge horses, enter into the river and get swept away. And one scrawny little horse comes along and says, I'm going to do it. You're mad. You can hardly make it into the river and you're going to think you're going to swim across when all these other bigger horses have all failed. Hiranyakashipu failed after doing such austerities for 120 years of the demigods, and he got some stomach pain and died. And we're going to conquer the material nature. So the whole idea is to understand, better to join Krishna's team and give up our allegiance to the other team because they're all losers. Are you going to join a team that's going to, you're sure it's going to lose? Of course, people do that. Prabhupada gives the example of one priest who was telling one man, he said, if you keep on drinking, you're going to go to hell. So the man said, but my mother drinks. Well, she's going to go to hell. My father drinks. He's also going to go to hell. All my brothers and sisters drink. Well, they're also going to go to hell. All my friends drink. And my relatives. Well, they're all going to hell. So the conclusion is the man says, well, if all my mother and father and my brothers and sisters and my friends and relatives, they're all in hell, then hell to me is heaven. So due to the attachment to these mundane relationships, which are always broken, one is happy in hell, the worm and stool, with his family. Someone tries to take him out, he won't want to go out because he's with his family. So family attachment is so strong in the material nature that even when it's in hell, still if he thinks he's enjoying his family, he doesn't want to leave. One man is going to hell, you see all the flames, everything's burning, and he's afraid. So the man in back of him who's going to hell with him, he says, don't worry about it. The secret is just keep hydrated. Just drink enough water and you'll be all right. So that's material illusion. Mainly because people don't understand what actually real life is, and therefore they're settling for this reflection of life. And if someone comes along and tells them what life is, they don't want to listen because they're too much absorbed in struggling in the material nature to so-called improve their illusory life. They're spending all the time polishing the glass of honey, thinking that it'll taste better the more they polish it. But they're never getting a taste inside the honey. Because they don't understand that the aim of life is not to polish the glass, is to open the jar and get inside the honey. Anyhow, so I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Many people that you meet on the street, they said they are good. Can you do something to convince them? Or
Well, I guess they're good for what? What are they doing that's good? Did you ever ask them what they're doing that's good? What makes them good?
they are mostly happy, peaceful, everything. They don't need anything. They are self-satisfied.
Good. Good for them. Go to the next person who might be wondering how to actually become good. If they think they're good, there's nothing you can do for them. You should say, well, you're good, but I'm bad, so I think I better find someone. Yeah, that's the covering of the illusory energy. If you ask a pig how you doing, they say, wow, this is great. I mean, it's Sunday, we get special stool today. So that's the covering of the illusory energy. They don't know what good is, and therefore they imagine themselves. Everyone feels good because they're spiritual beings. They're souls, and the soul is good. So that way everyone feels good because they are good. They're just doing bad things, that's all. But because they don't know what actually they can do what good things are. So if they're thinking they're good and everything's good, then obviously they're not very inquisitive. If you can give them a book, maybe sometime will come when they think they're not doing so good, and they may look into the book. Krishna may arrange it. In any case, what can you do? Everyone's crazy. They're crazy, we're crazy. We think we're doing good too. Even when we do something bad, we don't think it's bad. We think, well, a good person somehow or another was forced to do something bad, so I'm still good. Kamarinam katidas palitas dorni deshas tesha mai jata nakaruna no pushanti. That kamarinam katida palitas dorni deshas. In so many different ways, I've been forced to serve my lust, anger, and greed. But even though I'm serving them so faithfully, Still, even when I really I'm doing something wrong, I never think it's wrong. Nor do I ever stop doing it. Nor am I ever embarrassed by what I'm doing. So but Utsrijatam Yatapate, Laba Buddhis. But now I've obtained a little intelligence. And now I can understand I should surrender to you. Some people their intelligence has been taken away since time immemorial by the illusory energy. So what can you expect? They are because we're full of effulgence when we stand on the street. Suddenly they're going to become enlightened and realize everything. No, since time immemorial their intelligence has been taken away. So what can they understand? What do they understand? You go to an insane asylum, your father and mother, your father is yelling at you. Do you take him seriously? You understand he's crazy. He doesn't remember who he actually is, that's all. So you don't take it seriously. So we're all mad, we're all talking. As Prabhupada said, we're all ghostly haunted. Maya is talking to us as a ghost, and we're simply repeating what she's telling us, thinking we're free. We're independent. It's our realization. But it's just Maya talking to us. And then we're repeating whatever ghostly haunted minds we have, whatever a ghostly haunted mind is telling us. Anything else? Hvala Grantaraj Srimad-bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.